In this final video, we're going to look at workflow number 3. This is the one that should be probably pretty familiar to Google Classroom users. If you used Google Classroom in the past, this is probably how you're going to use it in the future. So you're going to be able to have everything be in Canvas, and you're going to be able to still make a original template that you want all the students to have a copy of. So this is going to be using Canvas assignments. It's a two-way street where the students can return something, but it's not just an original document. It's actually going to be a template document that you've made, and everybody's going to get a copy of it, and they'll be able to submit that back. So with workflow number 2, we just use the online assignment. Workflow number 3, we're going to use an external tool called Google LTI 1.3. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to go to my physics assignment page. I'm going to just add an assignment, show you how to add a Google LTI assignment. Click the plus assignment. I'm going to call this Google Classroom assignment, because that's what it's going to kind of look like to most of you, I think. And you could type in here, please fill this out and submit. You can have better directions than that if you want. 3.5 points, I'll leave that as that. Assignment group, practice, that's good. Points. Okay, so here's where I need to make a change. By the way, all these settings that already are in here are just whatever the settings you used in your last assignment. So whatever you used in the last assignment, they're all going to be set up the same way. So instead of online, I actually want external tool. Click find, and there's different external tools, and the one you want is Google Assignments LTI 1.3. Google Assignments LTI 1.3. So you're going to click on that, and you're going to click continue, and it's going to come up here, and it's going to have you pick a template page. Now keep in mind, when we did that, we technically are leaving Canvas and we're going to Google, so it's a lot like Google Classroom. I can change the points here to 4. I could add a rubric here. I can't add the rubric actually in Canvas, but I can add a rubric here. If you're used to adding rubrics to your Google Classroom assignments, that you can still do that right here. You can still put a due date right here. I'll just do that. And I'm going to attach some, you can do plagiarism things if you want to with Classroom. I'm going to click attach, and it's going to go to my Google Drive. And I'm just, here's an LTI practice one. I'll click that, and click add. It's going to attach that. It says each student will get a copy of that particular thing. So that's all good. I'm going to click create. And then this is a little confusing here. It's still set on Google Assignment LTI 3, and you actually have to click select now. So that's a little weird thing, but I'm going to click select, and so it's going to do that for me there. Allowed attempts, we'll do unlimited. It's all good. I'll click a due date here. I'll say the 2nd. And that's going to be good. I'm going to click save, and I'm going to click publish. Okay, so what it does is it takes the Google Classroom assignment and it kind of embeds it right here in this particular page. And you'll notice that at the bottom of this assignment, normally there's a plus rubric, and you can add a rubric, a Canvas rubric in here, and I cannot do that, at least for the time being. I cannot do that. This is actually kind of an embedded Google Classroom assignment in here. Let's go and see what happens when a student tries to submit something here. Okay, I'm logged in as a student now on the dashboard, and you'll notice that there's something under my to-do list. It says a Google Classroom assignment, 3.5 points, and so on. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on that, and that'll take me directly right to the assignment that I need to be working and doing. So anyway, it's going to be an embedded Google assignment this time, and I have to link my account. So I'm going to click the link on this, and I have to click link. Okay, it took a little while, but what it did was it actually duplicated the template file that I made as a teacher a little while ago. So here it is. It's going to say open to attach and submit. So when I click that, it's going to bring this up, and you're going to click on that. Whoops. You're going to fill it out. What is your favorite hobby? I like fishing. What is your favorite color? I like blue. And then the tricky part here is you don't actually click share. If I click share, I can share it with different people, but I don't need to click share. All I need to do is close up that tab, and I'm back on this particular thing, and I'm going to click, well, I'm actually not going to click submit right now. I want to show you something here with the teacher view. When I open this up, and I'll open it up again, and I'll still see it's all there. Okay. When I open this up, it assigned it to me. Okay. So you'll see it says assigned right here. Now, if I click submit, it'll go ahead and submit it. But I want to show you what it just means if I don't yet submit it, what that's going to show for a teacher view. So I'm not going to quite submit it just right yet. I'm going to log out and log back in as a teacher. Okay, I'm logged back in as a teacher. I'm going to go to my Google Classroom assignment. I'm just going to click on that, and you'll see that it's embedded in here like it was earlier. But if you look down here, you're going to see that there's several people that have been assigned this, that they've actually opened it up and started working on it, but they haven't actually submitted it yet. So Technology PLC is the one I'm kind of working with right now. So it's been assigned. So I could click on that particular person, okay? And if you look at this, you can see what they're doing. You can see some work on here, okay? Now you'll notice I can't really grade it or anything yet. So this is a live document that the student has, and I can come in here and I can kind of make some comments and some things on here while they're actually working on it before they've actually even submitted it. I could do a comment right down here, I think. Hello. I can add a comment in there, I guess. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go back to this thing, and they're all assigned here, so I can't actually return them or I can't actually check them or anything like that right now. Okay, so I'm going to log back out, and I'm going to actually submit it, and then I'm going to see what that looks like. Okay, I'm back in my student. I still have a to-do there because I haven't submitted that thing yet, so I'm going to click it again. And so back here it says assign because I did assign it. I'm going to click on here, and that's a link. And so I have some my page that I was working on here. You'll notice that there's been a comment by the teacher. Hello, they put a comment on there. Close this back up, and again I can, if I click here, it's going to open up the thing. If I click here, open to attach and submit, I'm going to click that. And here's where I get to my submit thing. So I'm going to actually officially submit the file now. Submit it. Okay. You're all set. Your assignment is submitted and ready for your instructor to review. So that's all good. By the way, if I, on this page here, if I refresh, see it says assign still. So if I refresh this page right here, it says submitted, so that's all good. Okay, now I'm going to log out and log back in as a teacher. Okay, I'm logged in as a teacher. I'm on my dashboard, so I actually have something on my to-do list now. There's a grade Google Classroom assignment, so there's an assignment that needs to be graded. So over here in your to-do, there's all kinds of things you need to do. So I'm going to click on that. That'll take me right to the assignment for this particular student. And here's the kind of trade-off with the Google LTI assignment. It's not, at least this time, I think Google's still working on it, but at this time there's no preview in SpeedGrader. So if you're in SpeedGrader, you can't really use it with the Google LTI assignment. what I need to do instead is I actually need to go to the actual classroom assignment if it's a Google LTI one. So back to my classroom, I want to go to the assignments. I want to actually go to the Google Classroom assignment, and I'm not going to be using SpeedGrader for that one. So if you look down here, you have all the people that have actually opened it up. It's been assigned to them, but they have not submitted it. But now there's one here that has been submitted. So you can click on that particular person, and it's going to open it up. And what you do is you actually grade it in Google, just like you did back in the day in Google Classroom. If you had a Google Rubric attached to this, you can of course use that, and so on. So I can look at all the comments here, and I can come down here and I can say that's really good, 4 out of 4. I could put a feedback in here, nice job, and I can then go ahead and return that assignment. The really important part here is for you Google Classroom users, all of this Google Classroom stuff probably looks basically almost identical the way it was. The problem is that once you graded something in Google, eventually you had to figure out how you're going to take those grades and maybe put them into PowerSchool. So now the magic is that if I come back here to this particular thing and I refresh the page, you'll see that there's a grade in there. And if I actually go to grades and you come down here, Google Classroom out of 3.5, if you look at this one here, you'll see down here that this student right here, there's a grade. And so it is actually in your Canvas gradebook, which means it's going to be syncing to PowerSchool automatically. So hopefully Canvas is going to solve the problem for the Google Classroom users in the past, where you had to figure out how to get your grades from Google Classroom into PowerSchool. Now there's an integration, so you're just going to come into Canvas, you're going to set your Google Classroom assignments up in here, and when you grade them, even though you're still grading them in Google, it's going to take that grade and it's going to go ahead and put it right into Canvas and put it directly into PowerSchool. So hopefully that will made some sense. Google is continuously working on that integration, so there might be some updates by the time you actually even get to this, watching this video. So if there's any other things that are changing, I'll try to let you know. One last thing I want to show about the Google LTI 1.3 is that when you make a teacher template assignment and everybody makes a copy, in your Google Drive, you will find, just kind of like Google Classroom worked, you'll find a new folder that shows up in your Google Drive called Assignments. Students will also see a folder called Assignments, and if you click on, if I'm a teacher and I click on Assignments, you'll see there's 2 courses that I've been working on here lately, and I have assignments in those where I've used the Google template thing. Whenever you use a Google template, it's going to make a folder for that particular class that you teach. If I then click on that classroom, you're going to see the different assignments that you have in your classroom that were Google Templates things. And one of the folders is going to be called Templates. It says do not edit these things. So if I click on there, you're going to see there's 2 templates for 2 different kind of things that I made earlier. Okay. If I click on like this assignment here, you'll see all the people that have made a copy of it. And so I can actually go into each one of these here and kind of open them up and look at a living working document at all times right from my Google Drive. So students are going to have the same kind of a setup. If they make a copy of an assignment, they're going to have an assignments folder, and they're going to have each of their courses that they had to do an assignment in also in their Google Drive, and they'll have a copy of it. So that is basically the same functionality that Google Classroom had. Google Classroom worked with Canvas, and Google worked with Canvas, and they basically made Google Classroom for Canvas. So pretty much identical, except for the benefit is now that your grades will actually be directly in Canvas and will go directly into PowerSchool.